Hello everyone and welcome to the YouTube channel of BeingACCA. This is Tushita Gupta, ACCA affiliate, and in this video we're going to be solving YAM Company. So let's read the question. YAM Company is involved in the processing of sheet metal into products A, B and C using three processes: pressing, stretching and rolling. Like many businesses, YAM faces tough price competition in what is a mature world market. All three processes take place in the same factory. Raw material for the sheet metal is first pressed, then stretched and finally rolled. The processing capacity varies for each process, and the factory manager has provided us the following data. So these are the available hours, these are the time that it takes to conduct these processes on each of these products. Then we have management accounting systems data, sales price, raw materials, maximum demand. Other factory costs are $18 million and total labor cost is $2.25 million. YAM Company has identified that pressing is currently the bottleneck process due to the low number of hours available and the pressing process taking longer per meter than stretching and rolling. So we can highlight the fact that pressing is our bottleneck. Okay. They are keen to resolve this bottleneck longer term to increase production capacity. YAM carries very little inventory. So what does the first question want me to do? The first question asks me, what is the optimal ranking of the products if management wanted to maximize the throughput per bottleneck hour? So let's first find out how much is the bottleneck, how much is the throughput that we are getting per product. So this is product A, product B and product C. Right. So let's go for how much is our sales price. Our sales price is 70, 60 and 27. Now let's see our raw material. Raw material is 3, 2.5 and 1.8. So now let's find out our throughput. Throughput is nothing but sales price minus material cost. So this will be 70 minus 3. Similarly, I will paste this formula to the rest of the products. Then what I will do is I will see how much time they are taking on my bottleneck process. So time on bottleneck. Time on the bottleneck. Bottleneck is currently pressing. So how much time are they taking on pressing? They are taking 0.5 hours. 0.5 again for product B and 0.4 for product C. So now I have my time on the bottleneck hour. So if I want to see that how much is the throughput per bottleneck hour, I will simply divide the two that I have written over here. Throughput divided by time on bottleneck. Right? So I will just put the formula right over here. And this will come out to be 67 divided by 0.5, which is 134. Similarly, copying this formula to the rest of the cells as well. Now I can rank the products, right? So the highest that I can get, highest return that I'm getting is from product A. Then I'm getting the highest return from product B and then from product C. So my answer becomes option A, which is product A, product B and product C. Now moving on to the second question. The second question wants me to calculate the TPAR for product B. Right. So let me find out that. First of all, we need to recollect the formula of TPAR. How do we calculate TPAR? TPAR is nothing but your return per factory hour divided by cost per factory hour. So this is the formula that I have. Let's first find out the return per factory hour, which is our numerator. Return per factory hour. So this will be how much is our throughput per meter. Mind you, we are calculating for product B. So our throughput per meter is 57.5 and then the time on the bottleneck is 0.5. So this is my return per factory hour. Now let me find out the cost per factory hour. So cost per factory hour, which is going to be our denominator. So this will be, how much is our cost per factory hour? These are the additional costs excluding raw material and labor. So this is 18 million plus this cost, which is labor 2250,000. This is my total cost, right? And then I will have to divide this by the number of hours that are there in total. The total number of hours can be found out. Yeah, so the total number of hours is nothing but the time on our bottleneck. So bottleneck currently is pressing and we have 225,000 hours available on this. So 90 is my cost per factory hour. So I have my answer with TPAR equals to this, which is return per factory hour divided by cost per factory hour. This gives me 1.27, or I can say 1.28, which is option C. Moving to the third question, assume the TPAR of product C is less than 1. Which of the following two statements is or are true? Let's see. Product C's throughput is insufficient to cover factory costs, so it is making a loss per factory hour. Now let's first interpret what the formula of TPAR does. TPAR formula takes return in the numerator and cost in the denominator. So this means right over here our cost is 90 and we are earning 115. So if this ratio is greater than 1, this means we are making a profit. Now it is mentioned that TPAR of product C is less than 1. This means that the costs are in fact more than your return. So this statement is true. Moving to the second statement, management should always cease the production of product C if there is no way to increase the TPAR. This is not actually true, even though there are, people, the YAM company is making loss because of product C. It is not that they can completely shut this, because if they will shut the production of product C completely, they can possibly lead to reduced overall profits, because the factory costs are going to be same in the short term. That is what the throughput method assumes. It assumes that the short term factory costs are constant. So the second statement is not true, which makes option A my correct answer. Moving on to the fourth question, which of the following could improve the TPAR of product C given the current bottleneck? So let's see. Increasing the selling price of product C. So if we increase the selling price, remember what we did? Selling price comes in the numerator of this figure. So of the return per hour. So if our selling price is increasing, this means throughput will also increase, because it will increase the numerator and this will eventually increase the TPAR. Moving to reduce the pressing process time required for product C. So in the denominator, we divided this by the time it takes on pressing. So if we reduce this time, this will reduce our denominator in the return, and this will increase our return. So if the return is increased, definitely your TPAR will also increase. Moving to the third one, reduce the raw material cost for product C. Again, your numerator will reduce, and in fact the numerator will increase because what you are subtracting from the numerator is getting reduced. So this is also true. Moving to reduce the total factory costs. So we have taken the total factory costs over here. So if we reduce this, then your denominator gets reduced, and this will also eventually increase your TPAR. So my answer becomes all of these statements, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, option D. Moving to the last one, YAM has decided to purchase an additional pressing machine, increasing available hours on the pressing process per year to 450,000 hours. Now we want to find out what is the new bottleneck for YAM company. Let's first find out. We will need the time they are taking on each resource. Right, so this is the fifth question. We have three processes with us. We have pressing, we have stretching, and we have rolling. We have three products, product A, B, and C, and we'll write this over here. And let's also write the total and the available time over here. They have got a new machine for which process? They have got a new machine for pressing, and this makes pressing as 450,000, and the rest of the available hours remain the same, which is stretching is at 275,000 and rolling is also at 275,000. Now I will see that to fulfill my maximum demand, what is the total number of hours that I'm going to require. So this will tell me the total required, and then I will compare it with the available one to find out my bottleneck. So for product A requires 0.5 of pressing, and the maximum demand is 300,000. So this will come out to be 150,000. Again, for stretching, this is 0.25 and the maximum demand is 300,000. So this comes out to be, I forgot to put 10, right. Then I will go for rolling, which is 0.4 multiplied by 300,000. Right. Then similarly, I will do the same calculations for product B. For product B, I have my maximum demand as 250,000. Multiplying this by 0.5, then 250,000 multiplying this by 0.4, and then I have 250,000 multiplying this by 0.25. Then for product C, I will go for 0.4 multiplied by the maximum demand, which is 400,000, and then again 400,000 multiplied by the time it takes, 0.25 hours, again 0.25 hours multiplied by 400,000. So with this, I know that these are the amounts of time that I require on each of these processes. Now I can see that I require 435,000, but actually I have 450,000, which means I have sufficient quantity of this resource. Now let's look at stretching. I require 275, and that is exactly how much I have. So this is also not a limitation. Now I require 282,500 of this rolling resource, and I have 275,000 only. So now this is something where I am lacking, and this becomes my bottleneck resource, which is in a limited quantity. So this makes option C the correct answer. With this, we have come to an end to this question. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.